In Parshas Chayei Sora, when Eliezer is on the way back with Rivka to meet Yitzchak, to get married to Yitzchak, the pasuk says that their first interaction was when Yitzchak was out in the field, and right before the pasuk tells us that he went out into the field, it tells us where he was coming from. It says, "V'Yitzchak ba mibo be'er lachai roi." He was coming from a place called be'er lachai roi. And Rashi explains that the reason why Yitzchak was there was because he had gone there in order to bring Hagar to Avraham so that Avraham could marry her. Remember, this was after Sora had passed away, and Avraham had wanted to marry Hagar. At this point, the Torah calls her Keturah. So Yitzchak goes to bring Hagar for her father to marry. And all of a sudden, Yitzchak finds that here he's going to arrange a shidduch, and behold, he finds that his own shidduch takes place. So the Chayei Nasan explains that we see a lesson found from this story as we saw in last week's Parsha. In last week's Parsha, when Avraham goes down to Avimelech, and Avimelech finally realizes who Avraham was based on the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God revealing himself, coming to Avimelech in a dream. And Avimelech and all of his family members, all of his people, they're in a terrible illness. Every opening that they have in their body is closed, and that was how Hashem punished them for taking Sora. So Hashem tells Avimelech that you'll be healed by virtue of Abraham davening for you. And the pasuk then tells us that when Abraham davens for Avimelech, then Avimelech's family, they start to have children. His wives start to have children. Everything goes back to normal. Everything is good with Avimelech. So Rashi explains to us there that right after that, the pasuk tells us, "V'Hashem pakad es Sora kasher amar." Hashem remembered Sora. The connection, Rashi says, the juxtaposition, is that if a person davens for someone else, then their tefillah is answered. So Avraham was davening for Avimelech and for his family that they should be able to have children, and therefore Hashem answered Avraham first before even healing Avimelech and having them have children. So the Chayei Nasan says we could apply the same concept here, not as far as the davening is concerned, but as far as the action is concerned. That here Yitzchak was going to actually physically make the shidduch of bringing Hagar to his father Avraham, and as he's going, he sees that his own shidduch is made as he was going to do something good for his father. So this is really a beautiful idea, and really a very beautiful message for us as well, that if we want to have HaKadosh Baruch Hu answer our tefillos, answer our prayers, then we need to daven for other people who are struggling, who are desiring the same thing that it is that we need. If we know that if we want to daven for our own parnasa, for our own financial security, then we should think about someone in davening who's out of work, who needs a job. If we're worried about ourselves and our own health, we should think about other people in our own tefillah, other people who are sick as well. And not only just think about in tefillah, but also in practice. So if we feel that we have something that we want to be fulfilled ourselves, so we should help somebody else to fulfill that, and then hopefully HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us fulfill it ourselves. This is an important lesson in life of the idea of giving to others, and when we give to others, as they say, it's become a common word or common phrase today of pay it forward. That if you pay something forward, if you give something to someone else, it'll ultimately come back to you. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants us to learn the midah of thinking about others before we think of ourselves, and if we do so, then Kadosh Baruch Hu will reward us with that which we desire, hopefully coming true with the help of the Ribono Shel Olam. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbat.